We used to keep a baby stroller with a plastic baby in it bundled up on our driveway, and when people were flying down the road, we'd shove the baby stroller out in the street.
We're live.
They would
All
lie.
right, if I can have everyone's attention, this is the Painesville Township Board of Zoning Appeals. We'll call the public hearing to order. As always, we're going to start, if everyone would stand, and we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Rachel, if you call the roll of the members, please.
Okay, Dave Nzera.
Here.
Ken.
Here.
Randy.
Here.
Dave Lindros.
Here.
And Chairman.
Here. All right, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our legal counsel, who is going to explain why witnesses need to be sworn, then she'll go ahead and swear them. So, Andy?
If anybody's here who's going to speak, they need, you are going to have to swear and affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. And the reason for that is if there's further proceedings in this, your testimony will be of record and it will be considered a sworn testimony.
Okay.
I'll swear them in if they talk. How's that?
Well, there's just two. Why don't you go
Yeah.
ahead and
Are you
swear?
guys both gonna? Okay.
I am for sure, if need be. Also.
Could you state both of your names out loud?
Mon Youssef, owner All Signs and Designs.
I'm Ray Sandwich. I'm representing the owner of the property.
Do you swear and affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth in these proceedings today?
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're still allowed to say that.
Let the record show that the witnesses have been sworn. Okay, Rachel, this is a continuation of case 2023-0013 BZA. If you would read it for us, please.
Okay, applicant Crystal Property Group LLC submitted a variance application for property located at 1635 Meadow Avenue. The request is to allow installation of a freestanding sign which proposes to maintain a height of 10 feet and a minimum setback from the road right-of-way of 5 feet and 5 inches in violation of section 28.05B4, which requires that monument signs shall maintain a minimum setback of 15 feet from the road right-of-way, and section 39.03C2, which requires that no freestanding sign within the main corridor commercial design overlay district shall exceed a height of 6 feet.
Okay, I find no error in our zoning inspector requiring a variance for this signage. Is there someone here to speak for the request?
Good evening, everybody. I first of all want to apologize for not having a representative here at the last meeting. That was totally a communication oversight on our part. This is important to us to be here, and we would never have deliberately not been here if we would have known about that date. And I want to make sure that you know that it was not anybody's fault on your end in terms of notification. It was a miscommunication on our end. So I apologize for that. As far as this overall case, just as a bit of a background, if you will allow me, the last time that we were here, Mr. Scott Scheel, who is in Michigan today, unfortunately, could not be here tonight, but I was with him. And at that point, we were hoping to get a Starbucks on that property. We didn't have the lease signed yet. We were optimistic after many, many months of negotiations that they were very interested in it. And we were going a little ahead, even though we didn't have a signed lease, to see if we could get the process moving. The response from the entire community, including your board, was very positive, and you were very helpful in allowing us to have a couple of variances that allowed that building to be built. We're very proud of it at this point. I hope you are too. We consider it to be a real asset for the people of Painesville Township. So we're proud that that was there. When we put through all of the different paperwork, all the different drawings, we were under the impression at that point, as the property owners, that all of the signage was being handled through their national company, Hilton Displays, and they would contract with a local sign company, of which this gentleman is representing them, to be able to coordinate all the signage. So we never brought up the signage because to us it was not our responsibility. Our responsibility was to build the building and, of course, to make sure that that was totally legally done. However, on the different drawings, it did actually show this particular monument sign. And in reflection now, we should have at least brought it up as far as being part of the entire process, because when we needed to have the specific variances for the setback for the building, it made sense that also there would necessarily have to have some discussion and requests for variances for the sign. But at that point, it was not even on our radar at all. And we appreciate what you did permit us to do, and we did it. It wasn't until just a few weeks ago that we were told that the monument sign was part of the building of the what's called the core and shell, which means the exterior of the building. So we were advised that we do have some responsibility to help them to get that done. All of the other signage on the property, the menu signs and things like that, are the responsibility of the other sign company, but we were supposed to be involved. That had not clearly been communicated to us, and we were not aware of that. So now we're kind of in a difficult situation. The Starbucks building is built. They're in the process of changing the inside, renovating, finishing the inside, I should say, not renovating, but completing the inside, which was part of the arrangement. And they have tentatively scheduled a date in September to be open to the public. So all of that is moving. When they came over and we turned over the building to them, there was a punch list of about 15 different items. We have satisfied every one of them across the board, with the exception of the monument sign, because that, in their mind, is still something that needs to be done. So we know that this is not according to code. We totally understand that. We come to you at this time in a spirit of compromise, hoping that somehow we can work something out that will allow us to put a sign in that location. We've already discussed with them the idea of lowering the sign, and we've come up with a relatively easy way to knock it down about 18 to 20 inches from where it was, where they wanted it, because we could take the drive-through and put it on the brick face and then lower the siren logo down. So that would cut down about 20 inches. We're open to, if that isn't acceptable, we're open to find out, what is acceptable to this board, because we need to get something passed. It is a very important part of this entire project. It's very important to Starbucks. They have a sign. To them, they do not, the presence on the main sign that we have on the property, the large pylon sign, is not adequate. They need to be closer to their building and closer to the street. So they are really pushing for this. And they're not satisfied with our offer to have them on the pylon sign, which we probably will anyway, but that does not satisfy the need. So I come to you in a spirit of cooperation. If that compromise that we've already suggested isn't good, then please tell us what could be. We will take it back to Starbucks and try to work that out with them so that we can find a way to work, if at all possible.
Okay. Anyone else need to speak in favor?
I mean, actually, I feel like a fool speaking after him. The height is actually the way it would come out, because the current footer is 27 inches, and it would be 5 feet 6 inches is where, if we were to lower we would remove the drive through and put it on the brick part, that would only be 83 inches. So it would actually lower it to a little under 7 feet, versus the 10 feet. So it'd be 3. That's really all I got. I mean, there's nothing else. I just wanted to point that out. Okay. So that's it.
So
I think we said 87 inches in the submission. It should be 83.
83 inches, that would be the overall from the base to the top of the logo.
Yeah, the standoffs are 6 inches, and the sign is 5 feet. So 66 and 27. I think I'm right. my math is right.
It looks a little confusing in this because this is all underground, all of that block.
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about from the ground up would be 83 inches to the top of the siren.
Okay, that's a considerably less amount of variance it's looking at. Okay, and as far as the setback from the road, that's kind of there, correct?
You know, we submitted a lot of pictures and video. There's just not that much room there.
Yeah, and actually, Ray, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to speak with Scott. Scott had mentioned video on the phone when I spoke to him today, but I looked through again because I didn't recall a video and I only had images on that file. Yes, but they do have the images.
We did take video as well, and we did. It should have been dropped off to you. I wasn't the person doing that, but it should have been dropped. I apologize.
Do you foresee any safety issues of people coming out of Barrington?
That would be my main concern. Now, driving out of Barrington.
They're more concerned looking to the west and not to the east.
Yes. So when you're heading out of Barrington Bridge now, with the height of the brick wall in the setback and the height together are what create a potential hazard. But with the current height of the brick base, I don't see any line of sight visibility issue whatsoever. Removing the drive-through portion and placing it on the base further eliminates a concern. I don't know the overall width of the drive-through sign, but with the siren being a circle, theoretically there is a gap to where it's the perfect line of it offers that perfect line of sight through there.
Real quick, I know in relation to that question, because I went there, kind of did my own. I don't know if this kind of answers your question. I kind of stood in the middle of the street specifically to try to mimic if I was in the car, how it would look. So that way, like I said, I just wanted to see if it would, if it would obstruct. I don't believe, that like sat back up into the street and took the picture to try to make sure that we wouldn't be obstructing any view either way direction.
Just a question as a point of interest, does Starbucks make the logo in any smaller diameters?
Yeah. I mean, if need be, I have the authority to basically bend anything we need to, because we gotta get the sign.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you tell me, well, look, I need it to be at 80 or below, or, I'm only gonna give you 5 inches of leeway, whatever it is where you gotta bring it in, that's what we have to do. I mean, the standard, even like the sirens we're putting up on the wall, they're standard, now even ones that are smaller, they're making us take them off, and, like they're rebranding where they're making us, it's 60 inches. That's their standard size, okay? But if you require something less, I don't think they're, me and him are here to get a sign. Okay, so whatever you need from us, I'm being honest with you. They might kick me in the rear end afterwards, but, I have the authority to make that decision. That's what they told me.
Okay, I just asked that. What you're asking for, and the board will look at this, you're asking for an 11-inch variance essentially, from 72 to 83, is that correct? With the redesign?
Yeah.
And that's within the realm of reasonability, being reasonable. Okay, anyone else to speak in favor? Anyone else to speak against the request? Any questions from the board?
Just one question. I think I'm clear. You're proposing to take the white polycarbonate and remove that completely and drop the siren down onto the brick
Exactly.
base. Okay.
Yeah, what's going to be sticking out is the 2 posts.
Yep.
Those are 6 inches, and the siren is 5 feet. Okay, and then those will go directly mount. And again, I don't know whether we'll do acrylic but it ain't going to be no, it ain't going to be no like LED lights or nothing. It's either going to be acrylic, aluminum,
Something to
PVC.
support that.
Yeah, it's just something we just put on the brick that says drive-through.
Okay.
It's a little too late in the game and trying to, worry about whatever it's gonna take for us to fit it in, we're gonna do it.
Okay. All set? Any other questions? Would someone, oh, go ahead.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry it took me so long, I was gonna bring up a similar.
You gotta drag it up to the top.
Oh, you moved it.
Yeah. Chuck says I was moving too fast on stuff.
Alright, so that's the sign, and this is going to be, you know, the main area of concern is people are coming up and turning left. Just getting an idea, but if there is the siren here, it's potentially still providing that line of sight gap.
And that siren, to be clear, that siren is going to sit on that brick base for the most part, with the exception of it's going to be on posts, right? And it'll be centered, and it's roughly 5'6" in diameter, right?
It's 5 feet.
No, 5 feet.
Diameter's 5.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
It's
because
6
it's
is the
sitting up.
standoff.
It's sitting up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you want me to raise it so you get more clearance, I'll raise it.
We're happy where you are right now.
Listen, I'm just ecstatic there ain't 50 people in here. Last time I was here, last time I almost passed out when I walked in.
So did we.
They weren't here for you.
I called my wife and said, I'll be home about 12 o'clock.
Well, that's why we moved you guys first.
Thanks. Believe me, I appreciate it. And then I was back out in that storm. I wanted to come back in.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much the picture that he just showed us
Mm-hmm.
in that view. All right. Any other questions from the board? Would someone like to make a motion, please?
I'll make the motion to approve the variance 2023-0013 BZA with getting rid of the drive-through and putting it on the brick and dropping that 5 foot. What do you call it?
If you want to say 83 inches.
Yeah, 283 inches to
Yeah,
the top of
to
the
83
siren.
inches to the top of the siren.
I'll second that.
All right, motion's been made and seconded.
Okay, so we're putting the drive-through on the brick and
The height of the siren's going to be 83 inches.
Total height's gonna be 83 inches.
That picture, we had sent a picture of that with it too. Did you get that?
With the, yeah,
They showed that, okay.
83 inches. Okay. Okay.
Now, just to be sure, because I was just there looking at it. I don't, how are you guys planning on capping it? Like where the cement is? Are you planning on putting anything? Because maybe that's where I might overlook. You know, like are they planning on putting anything, or am I putting it right onto the cement?
As far as I know, it was right
Okay.
on the cement.
Okay, I just want to make sure because
There
I don't
has to be a
want somebody to go out there and measure it to be
There has to
83
be
and a
a
half.
sealant put on it.
Yeah, 83 and a half. And then
We're not
they think I lied to them.
unreasonable.
I'm under oath.
Nothing.
That word scares me.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Rachel, if you'll call the roll.
okay, Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
David Anzera,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. I'm assuming this is something you want to roll on right away.
Oh, yes.
Because and we're going to talk about this after our meeting. Normally, you cannot move until the minutes are approved at our next meeting, but we can, we have the authority to do something here to make it effective immediately. So if someone would like to make that motion, please.
I'll make the motion that we journalize case number 2023-0013-BZA tonight.
I'll second it.
Okay, Randy,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Dave Anzera,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you very much. The picture that Harley just put up there shows, and it's not in two places, it's taking that top one and taking it to the bottom and eliminating the top.
Right.
So that's how.
Yeah, we've got it on the.
On a separate note, that same thing you told me last meeting, does that mean this meeting okays my?
Yes.
Fine, thank you.
That's
I mean,
why we-
all I really, all we need today is the okay, and we gotta start building, that's
Yeah.
it. So, you know, thank you for, and Haley, thank you for everything.
Really
You're-
appreciate
you're-
it.
I know my wife is like, you know, you've been the world on this. This thing is just, we're coming back, now we're doing one in Willowick, but we're having to deal with Lake County that I'm just so looking forward to. Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
I
Good luck.
appreciate
Thank you.
all of your cooperation in the past and tonight too. Thank you.
Okay. Good seeing you, Ray.
Right, see, we can Starbucks, some, $50 gift card.
There you go. We can't do
If
that.
Now we have to edit that out.
Yeah, you're probably not allowed to do that anyway. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, so we will make a motion to close the public hearing.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, Ken,
Yes.
Dave Zera,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Dave Lindros,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Okay, with that, we'll open our regular meeting, and, does everyone had a chance to look at the minutes? Do you see any changes or anything that needs to be, reviewed in the minutes?
I caught one edit, just me as the secretary. The first page, public hearing, I had 2023-006-2023. I changed it real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, what are we gonna do with you?
I know.
So what are you saying?
It was supposed to say that we moved 2023-006-BZA, but I didn't put the correct case on it.
Okay.
You just want to emphasize the year, that's all. Make sure we
Yeah, I
have
just
it.
want make sure that.
Okay, everyone else okay with, let it show with that small change that the minutes will be submitted. Okay, old business. I don't think we have any new business. I think we talked about, we go through this every time of journalizing each decision. Is that something we wanna just do automatically? Is there ever a case where somebody has to come back and review the minutes? And,
Not that I've experienced. The only thing I could potentially think of is someone who is against whatever the vote was, who wants to appeal it if you journalize it and they can move faster.
well, I think we can make that the exception instead of the rule. Let's make the rule to journalize, and then if there is an exception where we think someone's gonna come back,
Yeah, like a room full of people, sort of.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. As long as our legal
Is it?
counsel is-
I think that's fine, but like last week, like with everything that was
It just-
going on, they ended up coming to an agreement. But like,
Yeah.
that's the sort of situation where we probably
And we'll
won't
know
avoid it.
by the time we're finished whether,
Exactly.
okay. Now, how do we do that in the regulations? Should that be something that's in our agenda, that they're automatically gonna be journalized unless we see different?
I'd have to look into that to tell you for sure, because I don't want to give you the wrong answer.
Okay. Why don't you check that out?
I
for us?
will.
And then we'll consider that moving forward.
In worst case, if not, then somebody could automatically move after the roll is called, and it moves, then someone could we could just have that as procedure. Somebody automatically moves to journalize.
Yeah,
unless it's an issue case.
Yeah, all the decisions will be journalized unless they're disputed or unless we call it out. Okay.
And we do have the formal policies and procedures that was created right before Rich retired, which I think maybe we could just edit that document, as long as she agrees.
Okay.
That that's sufficient, that we edit our policies
Okay.
and procedures.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, check into that and we'll
I
make
will.
that happen.
I will.
Okay, anything else? You got anything coming up?
Yes, we will have. Well, what is the variance for? Oh, goodness, I can't recall.
The second Tuesday of September is gonna be the 12th, correct?
Yes, yes.
I
that-
will be here. Not going to the Keys until the 15th this year.
Should be here as well.
Maybe that was it. Maybe all of variance got stuck through the last meeting.
There were a number of them in the last meeting, and I appreciated all your comments too on each one.
Okay, good.
That was nice, yeah.
Sorry I wasn't here.
Okay, if there's nothing else, move to adjourn. I guess I can just do that, right? We'd have to, I never remember if that has to be a motion to adjourn.
You do have to do a motion to adjourn.
All right, let's have somebody make a motion.
to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Dave Anzera.
No, I'm just kidding. Yes.
I'm like, woo. And Chairman.
Yes.
Loves it so much.
Okay, thanks, everybody. When will that actually, we're looking for